Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Andrew, and this is Discovering the Truth. Now, I'm not going to make this video very long because I haven't had a whole lot of time to do recording because my kids have been on spring break and it's been a bit hectic around here with work and children and just doing every day-to-day life chores and things of that nature. But what I have pulled up over here is a pale crawler. I want to talk about this before I talk about my story to the world. Now, if you didn't know and you're new to my channel, I went on another gentleman's YouTube channel and told my story for the first time to the world. That channel is Beyond the Shadows Podcast. He's a great guy, and he has given me the confidence to talk about these things, and also it motivated me to create my own YouTube channel to dedicate to discovering the truth about, these things that we are told are not supposed to exist. But I think there's people in higher places that know that these creatures like Bigfoot, pale crawlers, Mothman, Dogmen, and many, many others do possibly exist, but they use it as a way of covering it up, or, well, most people that come up front with their stories, most of the time, many people do not believe them. So, with that being said, I do want to say this, that if you do have a story that you would like to tell somebody, and someone that will not judge you, and someone that will try to help you in every way that I can, soon I will be having people come onto my channel, and I would like to get to hear everybody else's stories and what encounters you may have had, or any creepy type things that have ever happened to you, because I truly want to bring light to these things instead of them being covered up or people are too afraid to speak up. I want people to be brave and come forth. I was, even knowing that what I seen with my own two eyes, I still question, was that real? Was I misidentifying something? And no, I know what I saw. I know that it was a real creature. It was a living, breathing, organic creature that was horrifying. Now, do people believe me? I don't know. But I have no reason to lie. I'm not here to get attention. I just know what I encountered. And like I said, I do have an eyewitness to another encounter with the same creature, and that would be my wife. She seen the exact same thing I did on our property. Now, with that being said, I truly, truly am trying to grow this channel. So I'm not going to shove it down people's throats, but I will say please like and subscribe and share my content around, because I would love to grow this channel, not just for beneficial, but I want to grow the channel so that I can have, a larger audience, but also a way for me to reach out to other content creators and things like that, because the only way that we're ever going to get to the bottom of this and to be able to have a very strong, healthy, community is if all of us come together and we really start shining light on whatever these strange creatures or cryptids or entities, whatever they may be, bringing it to light. Because I definitely think there's a lot more to this than what any of us know. I definitely think there's some type of cover-up or government experiments. I don't know. I mean, truly, the list could go on forever because none of us really know what it is. Now, this right here, this image, if you can see it, this image is from a trail cam where somebody seen this on the trail cam in the middle of the woods. And this was on the news, and multiple different news outlets covered this right here. and no one could identify what this is. Now, of course, they'll probably sit and say, "Oh, it's just a human," or something to make it not legible. Making it out like it's just a hoax or it's not real. Or nowadays, everybody's like, "Oh, that's CGI or AI." I mean, but this is 100% a real picture of whatever this creature is. Now, when I look at this picture, first up, it does scare me because I know what I saw, and it does resemble this, except the one that I seen was much larger than this one. It did not have the same body as a human. It did and it didn't. Now, the best way I could describe what I saw is it was like taking a person, starving them for a very long time, barely giving them enough food for them to survive. And then, if you guys remember the old-fashioned torture device where they would hook your arms and legs up and they would stretch you out, except it wouldn't tear you apart, it would just stretch you out to where your arms and legs are just way out of proportion and does not look natural at all. But when it comes to its head, this is exactly what I seen. It had a head, like a human, except it was as if somebody took skin or some type of molding and stretched it around a skeleton as tight as it could possibly go, to where you can make out like all the bone structure underneath the flesh. And it did have black holes for where its eyes were, but its eyes, I don't know how to explain it. It was like taking a black hole and putting light in the center. Like where you see how much this is glowing? No, mine did not glow like that. It glowed, but it was more like a cat's reflective eye, except it wasn't. I don't really know how to describe it, but when I tell my full story about what I encountered, I will definitely break it down into every detail of everything that I can remember. And I really truly do look forward to putting that video out. And it honestly does disturb me because I don't know. It's when you have an encounter with something that you simply can't explain, it does mess with you, mentally and physically. But it says that pale crawlers are a phenomenon which usually involves a humanoid entity that appears at night, typically in abandoned buildings or in the forest and other heavily wooded areas. Now, mine did not take place at an abandoned building, and it was in a wooded area, but not a heavily wooded area. So maybe like a small little forest type area. Well, it was close to that. Yeah, so humanoid type creature, thin and pale, with long limbs with claws, a large black eyes. Some sightings describe their eyes as having a white that glows in the dark. Yeah, see, like that's a pupil that glows in the dark. Like, that is honestly spot on to what I seen. And this thing got a creepypasta. If you don't know, they call it the Rake. I think that's just a made up name for a creature that came out on a creepypasta. But no, it's not a rake. This is a pale crawler. And they are very notorious in North Carolina, at least by all the research that I have personally come across. Creature existing before the internet, like the Wendigo or the Dover demon, pale crawler sightings and stories about encounters. Some started appearing for the first time in the 2000s. So, like, that's crazy to me. That's right here. See, this is the starting with the Rake creepypasta, the creation of infamous swamp monster, or the more for the famous SCP Foundation universe monster called SCP-096. Now, if you don't know what this is here, the SCP, it's actually from a video game where somebody made these strange creatures that the government had pretty much like sealed up, and they gave them these strange names. Now, I did not realize that these sightings started back in the 2000s. That's kind of crazy to me. I did not even read that. My sighting happened a couple years ago, and it definitely is not a Wendigo. It's definitely, not a dog man, none of that stuff. When I tell you that the thing that I seen literally looks just like this. See, like, here's a sighting on June 14th, 2008 near a forested area, Lake Michigan, which 2 unnamed men were injured and 1 was killed. Police passed it off as a bear attack. See, like, right there. This is something I want to talk about. There's so many people that I have listened to on YouTube, on TikTok, and other social media platforms that have had sightings with all different types of creatures. And many of us get to tell the tale. We survived an encounter with something that's out of a nightmare. But my thing is, every once in a while you get something like this, like these. 1 was killed and the police passed it off as a bear attack. Now, as being a police officer, there's a big difference between a bear attack or a wolf attack. There are, significant changes in whatever happens in that situation. Now, I'm sure that if one of these things right here attacked a person, it would not look anything like a bear attack or a wolf attack or anything like that. Luckily, thank goodness and thank the good Lord that I was not attacked by what I seen. But then that makes me wonder also, why is it that these creatures that people see do not attack? When I tell you, and when I get into my story on my next video, and I describe how fast this creature, is, it'll truly make you understand that if this thing wanted to attack me, if it wanted me, it could have had me within a millisecond. And there would have been pretty much nothing I could do about it. Now, I don't really know what these things are. I've kind of described it in my last video. If you haven't watched it, go and watch that. It's just giving my personal opinions on what I think these things are and where they come from. But I'm really starting to wonder if these things are, if they're man-made creatures, or are these creatures, as I said, passing through the veil, and the powers that be know that these creatures exist. They know that they roam the forest and trails and mountains and things like that. And that is why, kind of like in the story down here, where the police passed it off as a bear attack. What if these people are not being paid? They know that these things exist, but they're being told, just chalk it up to a random animal attack. Kind of like, I don't remember the exact location, but I do remember there was a dogman attack on a family that was camping, and they passed it off as just a bear attack or a wolf attack, something. But yet people are just not killed, but they are taken out in very violent, very gruesome ways. And that, usually when it comes to a wild animal, it's just a predator. They're not going to, do something that's just awful to somebody. Yeah, I get they'll attack you, they'll eat you and stuff like that. I get that. But they're not going to drag you up into a tree and just, I don't even want to say all these things on YouTube because I don't want to get, struck with something. But what I'm saying is usually when it comes to an animal is going to do what it naturally does. And with these cases, you know, usually there's things that really stand out that really tell a different story, if that makes any sense. Sorry if I'm kind of all over the place here. I'm, trying to get this video done and out to you guys because I've been spending a lot of time working on my other video, and also I just been very, very busy with, all the kids being home from school and all that stuff. But I don't know really where I'm going with this. I just wanted to kind of talk about what these things are so you have a better understanding. Now, before I end this video, and I know it's not a very long one, it's pretty short, a pale crawler is a creature that basically is not real according to science. And people have had sightings of these things all the time. I posted a video a couple days ago where somebody caught a strange monster in their backyard. And it very much looks like a very real video. I could be wrong, but it looks very legitimate to me. And the way this thing moves is exactly what I seen, except a lot larger. I don't know if there's a difference between one that is smaller and bigger. I don't know. I mean, there could be. You could have just regulars, and then you could have an alpha. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I do know that it did resemble this right here in this picture, but it was definitely a lot larger. Now this one below, I'm not really sure. It is a very creepy looking picture, but this right here is spot on, like literally, except a lot bigger. But its head, its eyes didn't glow that much. You could still see an outline of black, but it was still that basic thing. But it's like, if these creatures right here, are roaming around in our woods. Yeah, this right here, this is I believe this is the actual trail cam that took this picture of this unidentified creature right here. I can't see the date on it, but anyways, there's a animated picture drawing crawlers. Now, I know this right here is just an animated picture, but you see how like it's very bony and skinny, and you can see all the details of the bones. That is another spot on thing that I noticed about my encounter. Now, do these creatures exist? I have my own thoughts and opinions on that, but with my encounter, I will say without undisputable anything, these things do exist. I seen one. I felt its presence. I looked this thing in the eyes. Not directly, it was through a mirror, but I still looked this thing in the eyes. And it was terrifying. And it always will be terrifying. It will forever be burned into my mind. And I'm sorry, it shakes me up every time that I can't even take my eyes off these images that I don't want to look at them, because I know what I saw, and it was terrifying, and I don't wish anybody at all to encounter anything like this. But I do look forward to truly doing a breakdown and trying to remember every single detail there was to my encounter and every encounter after my first one. I do have a video. I have to get it off of an old phone, but it is on there. I am going to send it to the YouTuber gentleman that I went onto his channel because I promised him I would. I just haven't got around to doing it yet. It is a video that is pretty creepy. I actually have two videos actually, and like I said, I don't know if 100% it is this creature in it, but if you see the video, you'll understand that something is there, and something is definitely like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you can tell there's something there that should not be there, and something that is very unnatural. So I look forward to putting that up. I don't know if I'll get that up with my video because it's a lot, but I'm going to try. But I'm going to leave this video at, these things are very much real. Don't allow anyone to tell you that whatever you saw was not real, or you misidentified something, or you're losing your mind, or anything like that. Dogmen, pale crawlers, wendigos, and the list goes on forever. I believe these things to be 1,000% real. Some of them may be a spirit, some may be some type of entity, but I know that the thing that I seen was a living, breathing creature. Literally, the worst thing that could come out of your nightmare was this thing, and it was very much alive. I could hear this thing, I could see this thing, and it was not, some entity or ghost or something. No, this was a physical creature that I could hear breathing. I could hear it moving. And I just want to tell everybody that if you do have an encounter, or you have seen something that you simply can't explain, don't allow your fear of getting, rejected, or someone to call you crazy or something like that. Don't allow that to bury your story within you. You need to speak up and tell your story. Share it with me, or there's plenty of other content creators out there that are trying to do the exact same thing I'm doing. We're simply just trying to spread the news, trying to get more and more of this information out so that it will reach more people, so that then when some random guy walking through the woods stumbles across something that is absolutely terrifying, he can be like, wait a second, I seen this before in a YouTube video, or I heard about this on the internet. It gives them an outlet, and it gives them an idea of what they may or may not have seen. Now, I'm not saying that every story out there is true. Not every video you will see is true. There's a lot of things that are kind of, taken over, especially AI. AI has gotten crazy, and some of it is very hard to tell the difference between real or fake. But it does not mean that your story is fake, because me thinking about my own encounter, I honestly question my own self. I'm like, it just sounds unbelievable even talking about it. But if I could take what I've seen and it's in my mind, and I could upload it to the whole world to see, they would see that they are real, and I'm not making this story up. And I don't care who believes me or who don't. I'm only doing this because I want to reach more people, but I also want everybody to know that you're not alone. And I cannot wait to be able to get people on my channel and to grow this channel, because I will do whatever it takes to discover the truth. I have dedicated my time and research and everything into finding out what these things are and where they come from. And I will not stop until I find the truth, because I know what I've seen. It was not human. It was definitely something out of your worst nightmares. Something that you literally, it should not exist, is the best way I could say it. You see something like this, your mind immediately is going into this should not exist. Why am I seeing this? And if you ever have an encounter or you never had one, I hope you don't. But my encounter that I had was random. There was nothing leading up to it, nothing, it just happened. After, delivering to the same place for years, and then one early morning, I run into one of these. So, I greatly appreciate everyone that has liked and subscribed. I truly, truly am grateful to that. And please, if you're new to this channel, like and subscribe. And my next video after this one, I'm probably going to break it up into 2 parts because I want to be as thorough as I possibly can by giving every little detail of the story and all of my encounters that I had. And if you want to hear the story that I told on Beyond the Shadows podcast, I went onto that gentleman's YouTube channel and I told my story on there. And I'm going to tell the same story, but I'm going to try to remember every single detail that I remember before my encounter, leading up to my encounter, and that everything that has happened after my encounter, because it leads to another encounter and another encounter, all the way up to a total of 8 times I have seen this very strange, terrifying creature. So, thank you very much for your patience. Bear with me. I am still new at this. I will get better over time. And I just want to say thank you again for everyone that has liked and subscribed. And please, write a comment down below. Tell me what your guys' thoughts are, what you think these creatures are. Where do you think they come from? I want as many people as possible to engage, and I promise you, I don't care if there's 5,000 comments. I will respond to everyone. I am your host, Andrew, and this is Discovering the Truth. Thank you again, and I cannot wait to tell you my horrifying encounter. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.